Hello everybody, welcome back to another Origin series video. This time I want to talk about some early clients, total legends. These are the people that gave us a go in the early days when it was just a one-man band, the early days of our landscaping business, 2001, 2002, 2003, our business which was called Earthscape. So this is the really early days before we even started manufacturing paving and things like that. So I want to talk about, I'll talk about John first because he was a legend. I used to work for a guy called John and his brother Dave, good guys. And they taught me how to work hard and they showed me what hard work looks like. That was many hours a week on the end of a rake and lots of dust in the summer, raking out lawns and stuff, which was great fun. And lots of sunburn in the summer and lots of freezing cold hands in the winter and frostbite. I don't know if I ever got that, but it felt like it. Anyway, so good guys, because what I want to share in this little story is that in the early days of business, you need people to give you a chance, right? And even in the early days of when you first get a job, you need someone to give you a chance. And these guys, John and Dave, gave me a chance, gave me an opportunity. I left school earlier than I should have, and these guys gave me an opportunity to work in their nursery and in their contracting business, which was fantastic. Their plant nursery, not a baby nursery, by the way. Just make that clear. A plant nursery, right? Growing camellias and rhododendrons and azaleas and things like that. So I learned a lot of things about plants and clipping and potting and planting and propagating and fertilizing and spraying and all the things. Anyway, so and then lawns, learnt how to create a good lawn, the prep work, the dig out the soil, the texture of the soil, what's good and what's bad, and the types of seeds to use, the types of fertilizer, and all the rest, blah blah blah. But the whole point of my story really is that I want to thank these people, and these are early people that give you a chance in life, like your teachers really, and that give you a chance even if you're a dope. And you are playing up and acting up. You've got teachers that form you and train you and are patient with you, and your parents, obviously, they're the most patient people, that bring you up and look after you and serve you, because one principle we have at Premier Group is we say that that service or uplifting service is, without service, none of us would be here, right? Without the service of others, the uplifting service of others. So I actually train all our team on this all the time. From day one, really, but it's a good reminder in this little story that none of us would be here without the service of others, our parents, the midwife who helped deliver us into the world, our doctors and nurses, and the people that pick up the rubbish, and all around us there's people serving us, right? In our local body councils, even if some of them need to go, and anyway, that's a subject for another day. But people that are really working hard for you and serving you and helping you to survive and thrive and get ahead. So that's a really important lesson. And these are people that gave me a chance in business and helped me. And gave me good feedback. Another guy called Dave, I'm just remembering now too, gave me great detailed feedback. Did a job for Dave. He was a dear chap, and he, just thinking about him, he wrote me a 3 or 4 page letter at the end of a landscaping job giving me critical feedback, which really, it was hard to take at the time because I wasn't kind of used to that. I'd never had a client do that. But he, I didn't really realize it at the time, but reflecting back on it, he did us a very, very good service. I mean, nowadays in business, in our team, in our business all the time, we're always, we do NPS calls and NPS surveys, and we're always asking for feedback, good, bad, and ugly, because it helps us to learn and grow and get ahead. But of course, I didn't understand that principle back then. I sort of, thought I knew best, and probably like lots of small business owners out there, they don't actually like constructive feedback. We run into that all the time, and that's again something we're trying to help people with through our Premier Business Academy. The earlier in business you can learn to take feedback, the better. So what am I getting at with all this? I'm going round in circles a bit, or just jumping from one topic to the other, but they're all important because all these things tie together. So let's make sure we really, as a team, make sure we learn from these history lessons. Because if we'd learned all these things and we applied all these things 20 years ago, all the things we know now at Premier Group and Premier Business Academy, we'd be maybe $500 million further ahead. So our job at Premier Business Academy is to help you shortcut your journey and make sure you can compress time and learn lessons. So that's a really important lesson. So Dave, you're a total legend. He's no longer on this planet Earth, so he's he's departed, but he was a great guy, and he gave me great feedback, and it was a great lesson and helped us to improve our business, even though I didn't like hearing it at the time. So important lesson there. Ian was another legend, property developer. And he was one of my early clients in the landscaping business. Let me design it is a multi-million-dollar home actually on River Road in Hamilton, beautiful home. Let me loose to design a beautiful sort of rock garden, and I specified all the plants, and then I quoted to do the job as well. So I think I did the design for free because I was doing design work for free back then just to win the jobs. And so he gave me a chance, and paid me well and paid me on time. And again, he gave little bits of feedback as well, which were helpful because he was very experienced in business and been on the road a long time. So again, we value their feedback, and we value them giving us this opportunity, because if these people like Bob and Dave and Ian and John and Kevin and Ingrid and all these people that have came into our early history and early life, if they hadn't given us a chance, well, we wouldn't be here today, would we? And that's why we always must respect the customer. Even that's what we say at Premier Group. It's always day one, right? We say it's always day one, because if we lose sight of that, and then we start to lose respect for our customers and our suppliers and our people. So we always must, we can't hang our hat on yesterday's success, because that's a really important quote to learn. And I wish I'd known that one many years ago too. Can't hang your hat on yesterday's coat hook or success. Each new day, you're only really as good as you're only as good as your last day. You're only as good as your last action. So only as good as your last day. Important quotes to learn, and you'll see them around our hallways and everywhere. I was going to start right hallways there as your last day. And you might wonder about the origin of some of these quotes, but this is what they really mean. This is where they come from. So it's really, really important stuff. So Ian, legend, thank you. And he went on to give us lots of other planting work in his developments and stuff later. And he was a really valued, client. And we built, again, part of this origin story is just to share with everyone, why all these things are so important, because I learned really early on in business when I was probably 18, 19, 20, that I had to communicate really well with these people, and that every time something went wrong was mostly because I hadn't communicated and said, I'm not going to get there today because of the weather. So I learned really quick to communicate. How many tradies can you name and small businesses that don't communicate with you properly right now? They're all around the world, probably 99% that don't. So you can get in the 1% pretty easily just by communicating really, really well. It's far better to over-communicate than under-communicate, right? That includes follow-up too, following up quotes, following up payment, making sure you get the payment in the door. So I had to learn all these things, which, in our business now, obviously we've got departments that look after all these things, but we must respect our history, we must respect our origins, respect our grass, our roots, I guess you call it, because all these principles had to be in play, from early days. Otherwise, we would never have got to where we are today. So I had to be professional. That's got a uniform, and we had the truck all sign written up, and the trailer and things like that, and keep it clean, and just getting all the basics right. Because often in business, what you find is that businesses that struggle or fail, they just don't even get the basics right. So you've got to get those basics right. Because if you do the basics well every single day, you're gonna succeed. It's all the little things that count. The detail really counts. Follow-up is really important. It's lacking in every business, pretty much in the world today. Or a lot of companies have built follow-up systems on email because they're too scared to get on the phone. So it's better than no follow-up. But with cluttered inboxes these days, who's going to take any notice of that? Some do text follow-up, which is good as well, but there's nothing like the phone, right? And so we learned that from early days, that if we wanted to actually win business and get ahead, we had to get on the phone, stop being scared of the phone, pick up the phone and ring the customer. Administration, so we had to learn all these things with all these clients, and get our quotes out on time and invoices out on time. I was hopeless at getting quotes out quickly because I didn't understand that. So now you look at our guarantees now, we've got 48-hour quote guarantee. Well, it's just phenomenal in our industry. And we probably all take it for granted here at Premier Group, but back here, sometimes I'd take 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks to even get a quote to a customer. So again, I'm really thankful to all these people for giving me a go, despite them having to follow me up for a quote, even sometimes following me up for an invoice. So these are all like sort of lessons that, again, if I'd known all these basic things, we could have grown the business so much faster with so much less drama, so much less hassle, all these things. So I really want you guys to understand, where we've come from. Who was Bob? Bob was an older builder, an absolute legend. And he gave me an opportunity to do all his lawns around all his new builds with my little Kanga loader. That was a game changer, the Kanga, because that leveraged my time in a big way and got me into, it was expensive, but it got us into all sorts of other work that we didn't have before. So I could now quote lawns. We had a rotary hoe and a levelling bar made up. John helped me with the levelling bar, by the way. Legend John and Pete and Dave, good men. They were three brothers and still are, I guess. Once a brother, always a brother. So Bob was a good man. Gave us a lot of opportunity, planting jobs, lawn jobs. Paid us within 7 days, I think, which was pretty outrageous for builders back then. Probably still is today. Anyway, so he was a good man. Thanks, Bob. Kevin, another great builder who did lots of developments in houses, and we did his lawns and little planting jobs and stuff for him. These are just a few that sprung to mind before I shot this video. I was just writing down a few that really helped out, and there's many others that come to mind. If you're watching this and you're one of our old clients from 20, 30 years ago, then you're a total legend. I want to say thank you. Put your name in the comments and I'll give you a shout out on the next video. Yeah, so that probably covers what we wanted to talk about today. Talking about these legends and people that gave us a chance and people that helped us to learn. If they hadn't given us a chance, we would never have learned. If they hadn't followed up me for my quotes, which is should have been my job, then we would never have grown the business. We would never have got the jobs. We would never have got ahead. And so after a while, I learned that we need to get the quotes out quicker. And then of course now today we fast forward to 2024 and we have this crazy guarantee, and I think we're going to cut that in half again soon as well. So get the basic service right, get the quality right, do the basics well, and you'll get clients referring you, and then start delivering unexpected value. And that's what I started learning with these guys, is that I started delivering unexpected value, doing things for them that they didn't expect, and of course that turns them into raving fans, and presto, you've got a whole lot more referrers or a whole lot more salespeople working for you for free, telling us, hey, by the way, Bernard at Earthscape does this and does that, and no one else does that for me. He does this special thing around when he finishes off the lawns, he cleans up better than anyone else, and his team, of course, but this I'm sort of talking when we're just one or two people, and then as we built the team, it was obviously more all about the team and saying, hey, have you heard about Earthscape? They do this and this and this. They go the extra mile, and of course, you're giving some unexpected value, something the customer's not expecting. So you're really delivering at the peak of the customer pyramid. So anyway, there's a few little yarns for you, and I'll be back with lots more. Thanks for watching.